What's good? What's really, really good, y'all? Shout out to everybody who I know is going to be tuning in on this, whether it's live or on the replay. I wanted to do a quick live because you're going to see me on here dropping a lot of value on the latest and greatest insights in business, especially going into 2024, something that we're really, really excited about. We, as many of you know, are relaunching our wholesaling business, and I want to be documenting our journey, talk about what we're doing, and also just talk about some of the high level items that me and our mentees in our community are going over. These are some of the strategic things that we discuss in order to help people take their businesses from zero to hero, from 5 figures to multi six figures and 7 figures a year. All right. With that said, what I wanted to talk about today, very briefly, I only have a few minutes. But I wanted to hop on a live and drop some value. Is the 4 components of running a successful wholesale business. All right. And how and what to focus on in the beginning when you're looking to take your business to the next level. This applies to anybody and everybody who's running a wholesale business. And I hope that you guys are taking notes because I'm going to go really, really quickly. I'm going to drop a lot of value here, and I hope you guys benefit from it. Right after this intro, I'm going to make it happen. We're talking about the 4 components to run a successful wholesaling business going into 2024. Let's get it.
We made it, that's facts, ayy. We the greatest, that's facts, ayy. Prices raising, that's facts, ayy.
That's right.
But we made it, that's facts, ayy.
I did.
They hate it, that's facts, ayy. Cause we changing, that's facts, ayy.
We did.
Can't blame them, that's facts, ayy. Cause we made it, that's facts, ayy. Cherry on top, that's a goat, yeah. Where you been, I wanna know, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. I know you wanna look up for this. Baby, let me turn you up a bit. You said you made it through hell and back. Give me the scoop, baby, tell the facts. Don't be shy.
All right, listen, after you have done this for so long and in the business running metrics, helping other people run their metrics, listen, you could be an absolute fool in business and still ascertain and discern a pattern. You know what I'm saying? I could be an absolute dummy. But after seeing so many businesses rise from zero to hero, including my own, and have the ebbs and flows of businesses over the last 5, 6 years, I could be an absolute dummy and still be able to say, listen, there are certain patterns that lead to success and there's certain patterns that lead to failure. But throughout the entire endeavor running a wholesaling business, I have found there are 4 major components to running, building, establishing, sustaining a successful wholesaling business. Let's blitz through these. And if you guys have any questions, you can definitely put in the comment section because imagine that you're just sitting knee to knee with me right now. And the only difference is we're virtual. All right. So if you're live or on the replay, go ahead and comment your city and state so that we can network because we do JVs with people all over the country. And it's something that we enjoy doing. And we know that you guys do too because you can earn while you learn and connect with us. All right. With that said, let's talk about this. Component number one, right? By the way, before we even get into the components, let's establish this. In business, what matters is predictability and profitability. These are the 2 P's that we're solving for in business. Remember how we got in math class, we used to have to solve for X, right? Well, in business, we're solving for the 2 P's. We're solving for the predictability and we're solving for profitability. If the business doesn't have predictability, then it's chaos. There's no predictability. But it's not just predictability because you could have predictable money hemorrhaging, right? So you want predictable profitability. There's 2 P's that we're solving for in business, all right? That's predictability and profitability. So how do we solve for predictability and profitability? Well, there's 4 components of business that we need to establish. And what you'll find is that the individuals who win in business are dominating each one of these components. So if you can fine tune each of these knobs in business, then you can establish a wholesaling business that's doing 6 figures, 6+ figures, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures a year with profitability. All right. Let me just mention this last thing about profitability. A lot of people like to talk about how much money that they're generating, right? And they'll talk about gross numbers. But listen, what's the point in having a heavy gross number if you're not profiting? You could be doing $100,000 a month, but if your expenses are $95,000 a month, you're only profiting 5K a month. So you may as well have been, running a $10,000 a month, with an 80% profitability, and you still be making more money. You see what I'm saying? So profitability is just as important as predictability. All right. And you have to solve for that. You need to build the business correctly in order to be running your business that way. Maximo Sosa, shout out New York. My man says my man got the AI beard. That's hilarious, bro. That is hilarious. I appreciate you, Maximo. Caesar was good. Carlos, what up? What up? Emilio, what's good, fam? We got Seattle, Washington in the building. Shout out to everybody who's tuned in. We love you guys for always supporting. Those of you in replay land, we appreciate you guys as well. Comment your city and state so that we can network, all right, and connect. All right, so let's talk about these 4 components. Number 1 is lead generation. Now, how we define lead generation in a business, a wholesaling business, is the predictable process for generating leads in the business every single day. Monday through Friday, if we want to be a good company. Monday through Saturday, if we want to be a great company. But if we want to be a company that's eventually doing 6 figures a month, multiple 6 figures a month, man, if you can be generating leads in your business from Sunday to Sunday, then I guarantee you, though, that little nuance between Monday to Friday and Sunday to Sunday compounds over time. Remember what the compound effect says. It says small incremental behaviors. Small behaviors done over a long period of time yields massive results. So one person might say, I mean, does it make that much of a difference to be generating leads Monday through Friday and Sunday to Sunday? Does it make that much of a difference? Yes, because time is the biggest factor, right? If you're doing that consistently week over week over week over a period of months, I'm telling you, it's going to yield massive results. Okay, so that's what lead generation is. That's the first component. By the way, y'all, listen, does it matter what lead generation channel you utilize? Some are going to perform differently. In the end, you can only do what your budget allows. So start with where your budget allows. And so the biggest question people ask me is, well, what should my budget be? That's the wrong question. That's the wrong question. The right question is, where are you starting? What is your budget? Once you've determined or established what your budget is, that lets you know what marketing channels are available to you, and start there. Start where you are, okay? That's number 1, lead generation. It's the first component we have to solve for. All right? By the way, we should be looking in the very beginning, we should be looking to produce at least 3 to 5 leads a day as the first milestone. I'm not saying that that's what's going to help you get rich, but it is going to help you get traction. You should be you want to be generating a minimum of 3 to 5 leads a day. Once you have that with consistency, then you can start really making some moves. All right, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a side tip right now before we keep it moving. If you really how you know before you can start hiring for acquisitions, there's lots of philosophies here, but listen, I'm telling you from the trenches, and I'm telling you from coaching hundreds and hundreds of people over the last few years. The rule of thumb is at least 9 leads a day before you can hire 1 acquisition person. If you are not producing in your business at least 9 leads a day, then I would not recommend that you are ready to bring on an acquisition person, because it's not money that keeps your acquisition people from staying. It's opportunity and culture. right? Because if you're bringing on your acquisition, a lot of people they'll bring on an acquisition person, and they have their acquisition person doing the marketing, doing the acquisitions, doing the TC. Then they wonder why their person leaves them, their acquisition person leaves them. They're like, oh, this industry just has a high turnover rate. No, it doesn't have a high turnover rate. It's just that they realize they're doing all the work for you, and they may as well go do the work for themselves and make all the money. So, but if you're providing them the leads, guess what? Most likely they'll stay because you're giving them the opportunities that they need. Okay, Caesar says, are you still offering coaching? Yes, I am indeed still offering coaching. However, I'm launching it. I'm launching it in a week. I'll be launching the coaching in a week, and we can only take a certain amount of students at a time because of the amount that I pour into each student to make sure that they are successful. So if you're interested in coaching, definitely PM me. Hit me up in my DMs. That way we can talk about it. It is not currently open, but it will be opening in about a week or so. All right. With that said, first component for solving for predictability and profitability and generating multiple six and seven figures a year. First component, lead generation. Number two is what we call conversion. Now, some people will say, well, this is sales. No, sales is simply a cog in the conversion wheel. Okay, conversion is much more involved. We're not talking about a hustle, y'all. We're talking about building a business. And if we're going to build a business, there has to be a process for everything. There has to be a process for everything. And sales is simply one of the processes in the wheel of conversion. Let me explain to you what I mean. Okay, conversion is the sales process, yes, but it's also the follow-up process. It's also the nurturing process. What do I mean by nurturing process? Well, not because you got the contract signed means the seller will show up to closing. Have you ever got a contract signed and you didn't follow up with the seller for the week? And then by the time you followed up with them again because you finally found a buyer, the seller's like, I don't want to do this deal with you because I feel like you're scamming me. I feel like you followed up with me to get the contract and I haven't heard from you in a week and I thought you went AWOL. So actually, I don't want to do this deal with you anymore. And now you're like, shoot, man, I did all the I spent the money on the lead generation. I followed up with them. I did the acquisition. I got the contract. I did the transaction coordination. I found a buyer. And now the seller wants to back out because they feel like I wasn't communicative enough. So guess what? Part of the conversion process is the nurturing process. That's the touching base with the seller to make sure that they stay on board between the time that you contracted and the time is by the time it comes to close and fund. There's the nurturing process, right? There is the actual contracting process. There's a step-by-step process to walk them through the contract to make sure that they are good to sign. There is the review process. Do you have a review process where you are, after you've closed and funded, you're asking the seller as a client of your company, you're asking them, what could we have done better? What did you like about the process? Would you please give us a 5-star review? Do you have that in your company? Every Fortune 100 through 500, a company has a review process because other people are going to want to know how you perform. Okay, I'm currently doing a campaign right now to get our company to 100 plus 5-star reviews by the end of the month. All right. There's also the referral process. All of these have to do with conversion. We're just in component number 2, y'all. Some people will call this sales. That's what I'm saying. It's not just sales. It's conversion. It's conversion, right? We're talking about a business, not a hustle. All right. So let's just recap. Component number 1, lead generation, predictable process for generating leads into your business. Conversion, the predictable process for converting those leads into contracts. And it's more than sales. It's the follow-up process. It's the contracting process. It's the nurturing process. It's the review process. It's the referral process. All goes into conversion. I hope you guys are taking notes because we dropping bombs on this one. All right. What's good, man? Thank you guys for all putting your city, put your state in the comment section. That way we can connect, we can engage. You never know. We might end up doing business together. We might end up investing together. We might end up on a stage together. I love to connect with everybody, right? People are the greatest currency. And today, leadership is what we're looking to establish. All right. So number 3, the third component to building a business with predictability, the third component is made up of two parts. The third component is called fulfillment. Because look, we've been making promises with the lead generation. We buy houses cash. We've been making promises with the conversion. I will buy your house for a particular amount of cash. Now it's time to fulfill. Now there's two aspects to convert to fulfillment. Now it's time to fulfill. There's two aspects. Aspect number one of component number three is called what we refer to as disposition. Disposition means the predictable process for finding a funding partner. Okay, that's disposition. It's the predictable process for securing a funding partner, I should say, not just finding one. The predictable process for securing. Now, what does that include? It includes building a buyer's list. It includes the predictable process for the outreach and marketing of each particular property to get it in front of the individuals who are most likely to want to buy it. It includes the underwriting process to determine, okay, who's going to want this type of deal? Is it an owner financier? Is it a hedge fund? Is it a landlord? Is it a flipper? Is it an owner occupant? Okay. You know what I'm saying? So there's processes that have to go into disposition or the predictable process for securing a funding partner. There's processes involved with that. Okay, the second aspect of fulfillment is what we refer to as transaction coordination. In other words, the predictable process for how to do the paperwork. Because many of you have the goal to hit $50,000 a month, 6 figures a month, $250,000 a month, $1 million a month. Can you imagine doing $100,000 a month and not having a predictable process for what happens with the paperwork? Wholesaling real estate is not about real estate as much as it is about people and paper. So there must be a predictable process for securing the people. There must be a predictable process for what you do with the paper. All right, I hope you guys are following because I promise you I'm dropping $1 million worth of game, multi-million dollars worth of game here for free. All right, and I promised you guys that I would continue giving you latest industry insights. All right, those of you that are just tuning in, put your city and state in the comment section so we can connect. We can make some money together. All right. Component number 4. What's good, y'all? What up? If you guys have any questions, definitely put in the comment section. That way, once I'm done breaking this down, we can engage together and maybe I can answer your question and help you take your business to the next level. All right. Component number 4 to building a business with predictability and profitability is what we refer to as finance. And with finance, I jokingly say this is where most hotshot wholesalers go to burn in Hades. All right. My guy, DeMarcus Mabry in the building out of Atlanta. What up, DeMarcus? Okay. So component number 4 is what we refer to as finance. And this is where a lot of hotshot wholesalers go to burn in hell. And the reason why is because finance is what we refer to as the predictable process for what you do with the money. Okay. Now, why is this so important? Well, because when I first started coaching, I found that if you could establish the first 3 components in your business with predictability, if you could establish lead generation with predictability, if you can establish conversion with predictability, if you can establish fulfillment, which is the disposition and transaction coordination with predictability, what I found is you can get rich off of these 3 components. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Any of these gurus out here talking about, it's only the broke. It's only the broke people who get into wholesaling and all that. No, it's not. It's the individuals who recognize an opportunity and want to capitalize on it. Can't stand these folks. It's only the broke people. No, it's individuals who want to establish a business. Then they can utilize that business to invest in real estate. You know what I'm saying? Don't let anybody shame you for what you're doing. But you can get rich wholesaling real estate just with, and what's rich? I don't know. What rich? Is $50,000 a month rich to you? Is 6 figures a month rich to you? Is $250,000 a month rich to you? Whatever you want to do, whatever you consider rich, you can get rich with just the first 3 components. However, whether or not you're still going to be here a year from getting rich, whether or not you're going to sustain that money, and whether or not your business is going to stay alive, is largely contingent upon component number 4, which is the predictable process for what you do with the money when the money comes in. So you got to keep in mind, guys, that money is like water. And like water, money takes the shape of any container that it's in. The problem is most people don't have a container for their money. In other words, there's no process. So what happens when money has no container? Well, if you threw water in the street, what's going to happen? It's either going to seep through the cracks or it's going to evaporate into the air. But one way or another, it's not going to stay there, right? Money's the same way. If there's no process for where the money will go, it's going to sink or it's going to evaporate, but it's not going to stay in your account. You must treat money like water. That's why we call it cash flow. That's why we call it currency. It moves. It needs to move. It has to take the shape of the container that it's in. It has to have a process. Okay. And by the way, when should I establish my finance process? When should I establish this? It should be in the beginning before the money starts coming in. A lot of people start saying, yeah, Aaron, listen, I'm going to get to that whole predictable process, but what happens with the money when I start making money? Listen, no, you're already building wrong. You're already building wrong. That's like saying I'll finish the blueprint for my house after I start building the house. You realize how dumb that sounds? Why would we do that with business? And why would we do that with money? No, that's not how it works. That's a short shot way to lose all of your money before you even start making it. Okay? So these are the four components that go into building a wholesaling business that you can take from zero to hero. All right. I'm talking from zero to six figures, multi six figures, seven figures in a year. Right. And then utilize those funds to now been funding your dream, whatever that looks like. It could be buying businesses. It could be putting your money into real estate portfolio that's going to make passive income so that you can make money while you're sleeping. Right. Regardless of your dream, you can do this. And I'm telling you, you are so much closer to six figures, seven figures than you realize. You just need the right strategy. All right. Now, the reason why I'm so adamant about this is those of you who've been following my content know I've been talking about this for years. I've been preaching these things for years, but you'll notice that I'm always sharing highlights of individuals that I'm working with who are making six figures, multiple six figures, all this money. And a lot of people hit me up and they're like, yo, are these real people? I'm like, listen, I tagged them in all the posts. You can go talk to them yourself. These are absolutely real people who are making stupendous amounts of money relatively fast. Why? Because they have the right strategy. And if you have the right strategy, all right, and you have accountability, and you have a community of people who are supporting you, listen, that's a sure shot way to be able to crush this business, take your business to the next level. So I wish you guys the best. I wish you nothing but success. All right. I don't see a whole lot of questions in here. So I'm imagining, I hope that you guys took notes. If you did not take notes, then go back, listen to this whenever you're exercising or driving, and commit it to memory, because I'm telling you, this is very high level. I didn't get into the nuance, right? There's obviously nuance when it comes to each one of these processes, and I'll be going live breaking all these items down over time over this week. But I definitely wanted to share this with you guys so that we could get some value. Shout out to my guy Emilio out of Temple, Carlos Coronado, my guy out of H-Town in the building. All right, we got Florida. Maximo out of New York, but he's in Florida. CJ Hurt, Temple and San Antonio. Was goody. Michael Lane out of Killeen. Here, I love it. We got VA Beach, Virginia Beach. She pretty but ghetto, pretty but rough, just like Virginia Beach. Shout out Drizzy. Mobile, Alabama. What's good, Lawrence? Louisville, Kentucky. What's up, Ray? H-Town showing up very, very heavy. We got Delaware in the building, Atlanta in the building. Man, I love to see it. We got St. Louis, Paul Matthews, my guy. Everybody I've ever worked with out of St. Louis tends to crush it and become a seven-figure earner. I don't know what it is, but you St. Louis folks are some hustling entrepreneurs, man. We got Indianapolis in the building. Tanya, Lovington, New Mexico. Actually, I'm about to hop off this because me and Tanya are about to hop into a coaching call right now. Marlene was good. H-Town in the building. Guys, I love y'all to death. I hope y'all and wish y'all an absolutely incredible week. If you're not home, drive safe getting home so that you can make it home safe to your loved ones. Love on your loved ones. Tell them you love them before it's too late. All right. Make sure to drive safe. I already said that. Brush your teeth and don't smack nobody. Until next time, let's get it.
We made it, that's facts, ayy. We the greatest, that's facts, ayy. Prices raising, that's facts, ayy. That's right. But we paid it, that's facts, ayy. I did. They hate it, that's facts, ayy. Cause we changing, that's facts, ayy. We did. Can't blame them, that's facts, ayy. Cause we made it, that's facts, ayy. Cherry on top, that's a goat, yeah. Where you been, I wanna know, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. I know you wanna look up for this. Baby, let me turn you up a bit. You said you made it through hell and back. Give me the scoop, baby, tell the facts. Don't be shy.